And joining me now from Lviv is Atlantic Council senior fellow Michael Bociurkiw. He has been on the ground in Ukraine documenting the impact of the conflict on civilians there. He previously served as spokesman for the Organization for Security and Cooperation in Europe. Michael, 900 bodies in Bucha. I know there's a documentation process going on right now to gather all the evidence of war crimes and to try and link it to troops that were in that vicinity when this stuff happened. Talk to me about that process and how you preserve that information.
Sure. Good to be with you, Katie. Well, I mean, Ukraine right now is basically the biggest open crime scene in the world, because not only do you have those horrific figures, it's on a very wide geographical scale, hence very complicated to document these cases because, let's face it, there's a conflict going on as we speak. And in fact, your correspondent was correct. I'm in Kyiv right now, actually, and the city is very, very much on edge. More bombing expected tonight. I can tell you, though, Katie, that the Ukrainians have an excellent record when it comes to really documenting war crimes, things like MH17, and their atrocities committed by the Russians here in Ukraine. And they don't go to a court, any international fora, without very, very solid evidence. They have experts here that have been trained over the years. So I think they're going to be in a very good position to present very rock solid evidence to the ICC.
We have some news out of the White House. This is from our NBC reporting team at the White House and in Washington. Ukrainian President Zelensky has asked President Biden to designate Russia as a state sponsor of terrorism. And if Washington were to do so, if President Biden were to do that, it would trigger some of the most aggressive sanctions that the U.S. government could adopt on any country. Currently, the only ones that are considered that are Iran, North Korea, Syria, and Cuba. I'm not sure if you are in the best position to comment on this, but I mean, what do you think of the idea? There's already been so many ways in which the West is trying to, close in on Russia. Would this make a difference?
I'm not so sure. I mean, why didn't they declare Russia a state sponsor of terrorism after the downing of MH17 on July 17th, 2014? 298 victims there. Many other cases of state sponsoring of terrorism from the Russian side. So I have argued for the longest time, Katie, that these sanctions should have been leveled a long time ago, even before the conflict began, because we're finding out right now that it's not having much of a deterrent effect on Russians' actions. And I don't think that even, threatening Mr. Putin with ending up in the International Criminal Court himself will deter him. It is a sad thing to say right now, and actually a scary thing from where I sit, but it does look like they're out for outright destruction of what was and what is a thriving democracy. So I think what little leverage remains on the Western side is putting more leverage on countries like China, like India, who still have a bit of influence over actions in the Kremlin.
Tell me what you've seen with your own eyes since you've been there.
Sure. Well, we were out today to Chernihiv, closer to the Russian border, and this is a town that was under siege for many, many days. Massive, widespread destruction there. And, I got to say, I mean, I've been to Gaza. I've been to many other conflict scenes around the world, and this really topped a lot of what I've seen in the past. I mean, I was looking... my eyes were watering up, and they are watering up right now. A big hole where a Russian missile landed, and there were crushed teddy bears in there. Next to it is a house that is completely flattened. Teddy bears, toys, that sort of thing. And then you can see the devastation going as far as the eye can see. So to me, this indicates grave violations of international humanitarian law, but also just an unfathomable sense of senselessness, because they bombed. Today we saw a children's library bombed. We saw a stadium. We saw densely populated apartment buildings. And, Katie, we talked to the people on this thing. When I asked them, what do you need the number one thing right now? They said two things. We need peace and we need housing. We need a roof over our head. It was a very, very sad, difficult day today.
I don't know what kind of person can target a place where there are children. Knowingly do so. And we've seen so many instances of this across Ukraine now. It's just horrific. Michael Bociurkiw, thank you so much